No? Okay, I'm going to tell you one more time, please, to exit the federal grounds with the camera there.
I think you're pretty ignorant on the law.
One thing for me, I hope you're ashamed of yourself. You should be. It's 70 degrees out. You have bunny boots on.
All right. I'll have to try to walk up these. It's actually over here. Eugene police just pulled in over to my right.
If you can just kind of walk down that way there. Is everything okay? You're not talking to me, I'm just wondering. I badged you, so you saw that. Is everything going all right? Any reason that you're filming? No? Okay, I'm going to tell you one more time, please, to exit the federal grounds with the camera there.
I think you're pretty ignorant on the law.
Okay. Anything else?
DHS memo, 2010. Go look it up. Come back to me when you have.
Okay. Are you leaving? Sir, are you leaving?
I said 2010
Sir,
DHS memo.
I'm going to take this from you nicely.
No.
I'm going to take it from
You
you.
cannot be on federal grounds.
Yeah.
Well, okay, name the specific law.
I'm not naming anything.
Name
I'm not
the
naming
specific
anything.
law.
I'm not going
and I need your badge number.
I'm not going to. I'll give you my badge number.
I need it now.
I'm not going to get.
I need it now.
It's not coming right now.
I need it now.
Just relax.
I need it now.
No.
I need it now.
Okay. Everything's fine, but we're just going to walk you off the grounds.
We don't want to take your stuff.
You are.
I'm going to give you.
This is illegal action.
I'm going to give you.
This is an illegal action.
No, it's not. I'm going to give you my badge number. Is there anything I can do that
This
will
is an
stop
illegal
you?
action.
Is there anything I can do?
This
that will
is an
stop you
illegal
from-
action.
Okay.
DHS memo 2010. Go look it up.
Okay.
Go read it again.
Okay.
Now.
I'm listening to you, buddy. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Do you understand what I'm saying? We want you to walk off the grounds. There's other courses of action if you feel that your rights are violated. When we get off the grounds, I will give you my badge number for sure.
Go look it up.
I'm not looking anything up right now. Is there anything I can do without force that we can talk about to get this camera off federal grounds?
This is an illegal move. Get your hands off my camera now.
Okay, last chance.
Get your hands off my camera now.
First, I'm going to take your camera. Okay? I'm going to take your camera in not a physical way. Okay? And once I take your camera, please don't do anything that's physical. I see that you're shaking. Are you walking? There you go. Go ahead.
Badge number.
Off the ground.
Badge number.
Off the ground, sir.
Badge number.
Please don't stand here.
It is completely legal.
Listen, sir. Look, you're in a
Hey,
weird.
how about this? Go check your CFR on photography right now.
You're in a weird spot.
No, I am not.
I don't like you being in this spot. I hate for you to fall.
Hey,
Okay.
how about this? Go check your CFR on photography
Walk
right
over
now.
this way.
Hey,
Walk over
hands
this.
off.
Okay, now.
Hands off.
Don't do it. Okay.
Hands off.
Walk this way right now. Right.
Hands off.
Walk this
What
way.
you're doing is completely
Please walk
illegal.
You need to walk.
Hey, if you put any
I'm
more
not-
pressure on
no
them,
pressure.
hands off.
No pressure. No pressure here, sir. Everything's fine.
Okay.
We're gonna walk all the way down, all the way out.
Make sure.
Who is your
hit the ground.
supervisor?
We'll talk about it when we get off federal grounds here. Just give us a minute. Keep walking. Walk right over here.
Nope. Hands off. I'm on public sidewalk.
Okay, so there you go.
Name badge number
No,
now.
listen
Who
to
is your
what-
supervisor?
Listen to what I'm saying.
No.
Listen
Name
to what I'm
badge
saying.
number.
Listen to what I'm saying. Okay? We're going to go back on here. If you come back on this property with this camera right now, we're going to place you under arrest.
Under what law?
That's the last thing I say. to
Under
you.
what law?
4926 is my badge number. Kenny is my last name. Carroll, Carroll, is my supervisor. Please don't come back on the property with that camera. This is your last warning. Thank you very much.
Badge number. Badge number.
Have a good day.
Badge number.
Have a good day.
Oh, that turned into a fail. I was about ready to give him a pass. Okay. Well, stop this and start it up again to archive it.
So, is your blood boiling just like mine? Mine's definitely boiling. And I am recording this narration about 5 days after this all went down. Now, let's go ahead and look over the lawsuit that created the DHS memo from 2010. Specifically, Musumeci versus Department of Homeland Security. Here is the ACLU website that covers this little issue. Let's see here. This lawsuit challenges the government regulation that unconstitutionally restricts photography on federal property, including public plazas and sidewalks. Keep in mind here, this is the important part for my specific situation. The federal civil rights lawsuit was filed on April 22nd, 2010, in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York on the behalf of libertarian activist who was unlawfully arrested by federal officers after exercising a First Amendment right to take photographs and digital videos in a public plaza outside of a federal building in Lower Manhattan. The lawsuit seeks a court order barring federal officials from harassing or arresting people engaging in non-commercial photography while standing in an outdoor public area near federal building. The complainant names in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Federal Protective Service, Inspector Clifford Barnes of the Federal Protective Service, and an unnamed federal officer as defendants. Plaintiff Amino Mismishi was arrested on November 9, 2009, after recording with a handheld video camera a protester in a public plaza outside the Daniel Patrick Moynihan Federal Courthouse in Manhattan. Mismishi, a 29-year-old resident of Edgewater, New Jersey, and a member of the Manhattan Libertarian Party, was recording an interview in front of a courthouse steps with Julian Hecklin, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm probably screwing it up, a libertarian activist who was advocating for jury nullification. They confronted the Inspector Barnes, who was arrested by Hecklin. Musmeshi, a software developer for investment banks, stepped backward and recorded the arrest. Barnes told Musmeshi he had violated federal regulation governing photography and arrested him. Barnes and a second federal agent grabbed Musmeshi by the arms and forced him to the pavement as they confiscated the video card from his camera. After being arrested, Musmeshi was detained for about 20 minutes and issued a ticket for violating photography regulation. The charge was later dismissed. A week later, Musmeshi was harassed and threatened with arrest after trying again to record Hecklin at the federal courthouse. Again, this past Monday, he was harassed by federal officers at the courthouse. You get the general idea. Now, the thing is, when you go up and look up the actual regulation for dealing with this, which is also outlined in the 2010 memo, it specifically states, what is the policy photograph news purposes here? This is the actual title of the code here of 41 CFR 102-74.420, which is sort of funny in a way. Except where security regulations, rules, orders, directives apply, or federal court order or rules prohibit it, a person's entering in or on federal property may take photographs of, and it lists out the various areas. And pretty much this is all dealing with the inside areas. Now, when we go ahead and look at the 2010 memo, when we look at the details per page here, they list Title 41, Section 102-74.420 of the CFR right here. And as is, in order to have something banned from filming in the courtyard or plaza, essentially they need a court order or essentially a local rule that establishes that. But let's go ahead and continue on this other part here. For properties under the protective jurisdiction of FPS, there are currently no general security regulations prohibiting exterior photography of any federally owned or leased building, absent written local rule or regulation established by the Court Security Committee or Faculty Security Committee. Furthermore, it is important to understand that regulation does not prohibit photography by individuals of the exterior or federally owned or at least facilities from publicly accessible spaces such as streets, sidewalks, parks, plazas, rather than regulation only prescribes photography of the interior of a federal building, i.e. spaces occupied by tenant agency or building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or atriums. Therefore, absent of reasonable suspicion of probable cause, law enforcement and security personnel must allow individuals to photograph the exterior of federally owned leases and facilities from publicly accessible spaces. And this is the DHS memo. Now, I've also got wind from some sidebar conversations with some other people that the U.S. Marshals are stating, or going to try to state, that this does not apply to them. I'm sorry. You have to follow the CFRs, just like any other organization within the government. And as is, I have been doing research, specifically looking for a local rule all week and before this, looking for a specific area in the local rules here on the issue of filming and photography. And guess what? As is, I haven't been able to find any. I even contacted the clerk's office. I screwed up on the recording on that, unfortunately. But let's take a look at the printable version here. Let's look for photography. Let's see if we can find a thing. Well, unfortunately, in order to seal a case, let's see here. This is all I can find with just in this one here of civil procedure. And I have gone through all of these areas where I can do, well, pretty much do the text search. I have only done maybe about 30 to 40% of these, just going in and reading these, because you can't do a text search of these provisions. And still, I have not been able to find a thing on photography on the outside. And these are all the standing orders. These are the ones that are in place. There's 3 pages of this. And this is for the courts here in Oregon. So, obviously, if I'm not finding it very easily, where is it? Where is this policy that bans me from taking photos and doing video outside the courthouse, Mr. Kinney? Where is it? It seems to me that your threat is now empty because I went digging. I have been doing research on this specific issue. And as is, I'm about ready to go back down there, live streaming myself, and I'll have the paperwork in hand. Both, let's see here, this one here, and this one here, pointing out specifically that I can film unless they can provide a local rule from the federal court that prohibits it. Or where is your directive that is able to be seen by everybody? Because it seems to me that I should be allowed to go ahead and film inside the plaza area where I was at. It's a public plaza. There was artwork outside. And I was about ready to give this a pass. You guys handled this very well with me filming with my tripod case and all that stuff. I give kudos up until the point you came up and forced me off the property. And even then, you guys were almost about ready to push me across the street to the other side when I told you, stop, this is public sidewalk. Obviously, you're doing something wrong. And yes, you can tell I am very upset from my raised voice and how aggressive I am in my talking manner. I am still really ticked off. Now, I have been looking up information specifically for contacting the U.S. Marshal Services. Now, the number I came up with gives you a touch thing where you're supposed to be able to dial on all that stuff. I don't know exactly where you're supposed to file a complaint on that part or voice your opinion within that. I'm guessing you just talk to the operator and see if they can direct you to the person. But as is, I am already sent an email out to the head honcho DHS on wanting to file a complaint. I'm waiting on an email back on that. I am generally, what I'm going to do is try to do this all through a documented process, so this way it can be public knowledge on what's going on between me and DHS. On top of that, what I'm also going to recommend is getting a hold, learning my new web browser here. Well, and I'll have a link to this, is get a hold of the ACLU. I'm going to have a direct link. This is the ACLU for Oregon. And I'll have also their phone number here available in the description. But I recommend getting a hold of them. So this way they know about what the U.S. Marshals are trying to pull. And how that they are wanting to force people. Because this isn't the only other time that I have dealt with this. I have dealt with privatized security that have U.S. Marshal hirings also trying to stop me from filming on the inside when there exists no local rules, and that was over in Houston. And I should probably get around to posting that video, I guess. at this point, since now I learned how to use I got something I can edit 360 video software, and I can properly do that video. That's the main reason why I've been holding off on it, is because I have been able to edit the way I want to. That needs to be edited in a way that I want to. But as you can see, yeah, we need to do something about this, because it's the U.S. Marshals that are now being the problem, not DHS, with the Federal Protective Services there, or the Federal Police, or whatever you want to call it. So that is that.